Week 1 of training camp in the books. We're going to talk about Bears players that really stood out in the first week of training camp, and we're going to talk about how Jalen Johnson and DJ Moore are still in the show in training camp. We're going to get to all that and more right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, Bears fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related. If you want to follow the channel, you can do so at Chi Bears Central on every social media platform. We also have a Facebook group, Chicago Bears Central, and we have a Discord server with the link in the description if you want to join that and join the conversation about our Bears and any other Chicago sports on top of that. But let's go ahead and get into the content for today. We're going to talk about players that have absolutely stood out so far in training camp. One that everyone knows, and we talked a little bit about on Sunday's episode as well. And the first one is just Justin Fields. Everything that we've heard about Justin Fields in training camp so far seems that he is coming in as a more poised quarterback, right? And by that, I mean just that, a quarterback. We even got from Clay Harbor saying that Justin Fields ran a perfect 2-minute drill, which started with the screen to EQ. He then scrambled and then hit DJ Moore for a 15-yarder, and then Cole Kmet for 15 more yards, and then a touchdown to EQ. So hearing that, right, one of the things, the Bears were in a lot of close games last season, and our 2-minute offense and any other thing down the stretch just wasn't good. Now, some of that was that the Bears were actively trying to tank, I think. Some of it was Justin Fields not trusting, but also Luke Getsy not opening up the playbook. To hear that Justin Fields is not only changing plays at the line of scrimmage, making decisions a little bit quicker, and he led a perfect 2-minute drill. Listen, that I tell you what, it's training camp, yes, and everything that we talk about here needs to be placed in the perspective that it is only training camp. But the fact of the matter is that it seems like Justin Fields is making that needed development that we need. He's prepared to take that next step as a quarterback, right? We saw what he was able to do as an athlete. We saw what he was able to do and how to save plays and make plays with his feet. And for everybody that doubts the arm of Justin Fields, that doubts the actual throwing acumen of Justin Fields, I think they're going to have they're going to eat their words a lot this upcoming season. And so it seems like he's just not making the same mistakes that he made last year. And that is a huge step up, right? Just eliminating those mistakes, refinement after that point. And it seems also like, the chemistry with DJ Moore, of course, we've talked about Cole Kmet, Chase Claypool as well. So all of that together just comes around that Justin Fields is now not only making plays with his legs still to pick up yards, but he's also spreading the ball around with his arm as well. And so that's going to be a big step up. And also a player that many people would not maybe expect to be on this is that Chase Claypool has absolutely been, according to everyone who's been there, has been a player that stepped out as well. This one coming from Herb Howard saying, my level of belief is that Chase Claypool will be a major contributor to the offense in the Bears with the Bears offense in 2023. Looks like Saturday he was a full participant, not any splash pace for sure, but he got in the red zone. He was active in the red zone. He came in and he's doing his things, and he's having a level of understanding with the offense that he just did not have last year. And it looks like that health concern that had initially, that seems to be gone. He's doing one-on-one drills as well with Tyreek Stevenson. That stood out, especially in Friday's practice as well. And he's been extremely solid in the team workouts as well. So everything right now, it points to Chase Claypool having probably a big season for the Chicago Bears, and how that's going to help him, of course, in the contract year, but help the team overall could be huge. And so hearing that Chase Claypool is also having that type of impact and effect in training camp is huge. And so, definitely want to point that out as well. Another one, and this is a name that we may be why we're not seeing a veteran edge brought in. Terrell Lewis is turning heads in training camp. It seems like the pads aren't on right now, so I don't think the pads are getting on until Wednesday, but it seems like on that defensive end, Terrell Lewis has been a standout. He's a veteran. He comes in, looks like he's been able to push past the Chicago Bears tackles, getting on Friday specifically. He was able to put pressure on rookie Darnell Wright that led to Justin Fields throwing an interception because of the QB pressure there. And, hey, we'll see. And a lot of you guys in the comments have been bringing up Terrell Lewis, and my kind of response there has just been, well, hey, he hasn't really made that big of an impact over his NFL career, but it seems like right now, hey, Terrell Lewis is turning heads. And so if he does come in and he's able to maybe even snatch that other D in position for maybe a Travis Gibson, or even end up just starting off the season kind of as a depth piece, it really seems like Terrell Lewis is prepped to have a major role. He may even pass up Dominique Robinson on that depth chart. And if he does that, what does that mean for the young guy, right? The second-year player will have that kind of conversation as preseason and things go on, but we're hearing nothing but glowing words from Terrell Lewis as well. Next up, Kyler Gordon. And we talked about this a little bit on yesterday's live stream. He's now earned the nickname Spider-Man because of him coming with the Spider-Man mask on in that press conference. But it seems like right now, him being moved to that nickel, knowing exactly the technique and everything that he needs to use and have in his second year in the NFL, it's going to be Tyreek Stevenson, it's going to be Jalen Johnson starting on the opposite sides of him. And because he's operating in that nickel position and knows exactly, they used him all over the field last season. Because he's coming in having one thing that he needs to focus on, it really seems like he's turning up. They've also talked about his senses, which plays into that Spider-Man nickname as well. And this looks like he's had several pass breakups on one-on-one. He's starting to figure out when screen passes are coming. He's playing with more confidence as well. And he's just playing overall better on the field overall. Clay Harbor, again, saying it when it came to him, there was a pass breakup by Kyler Gordon on a pass that was intended for Chase Claypool. And it seems like Kyler Gordon is really showing up very well in that zone defense as well, which is going to be important on the Chicago Bears defense overall. So, hey, that's again. And then another one, DJ Moore. We've heard nothing but great things. And I think DJ Moore is going to really open up the game for every other Bears player. And I know that may seem like hyperbole to say that, but when you have a wide receiver that has the gravity of DJ Moore, it opens up the offense and as whole. And so, as we're trying to remove as many excuses from Luke Getsy potentially not opening up that playbook, DJ Moore is going to be a big part of that. And to kind of double down on that, it seems like this matchup between Jalen Johnson and DJ Moore has been the matchup to watch so far in it. And Jalen Johnson had this to say in it. I like it because I'm competitive. I like to think he's one of the better receivers in the league. Just being able to go up against a guy of that caliber each and every day, I try to get that matchup as much as I can. So it's like, and that's what training camp is about. It's about pushing each other, right? It's about helping players reach their limit. And so when you have players that are matching up in those one-on-one drills and Jalen Johnson and DJ Moore, that's not going to do anything but help both of them not only acclimate to this team, but hopefully help them get into game speed as quick as possible and really, just hit the ground running once that season starts. And so hearing that Jalen Johnson and DJ Moore having that type of matchup, the cornerback one and the wide receiver one going one-on-one against each other, hey, it sounds like it's been fun to watch. And Jalen Johnson also throwing this in. It's something I know I'm going to make him better, and he's going to make me better as well. He's a heck of a guy at the catch point, and I will definitely challenge and compete. So I'm all for it. Jalen Johnson, who's handled his contract situation amazingly. Like, if you guys haven't seen his initial press conference where he came out with the do-rag, the brush, and asking the reporters if they knew what it was, and then kind of try to breeze by the contract situation, I love and respect the fact that Jalen Johnson is not letting this contract situation really be the defining story, right? He's talked about that he wants to have a big season, right? And him coming in training camp with the right mindset, not letting that contract hanging over his head be this cloud over the team as a whole. That's something that you can just not overlook at all. You can't overlook that at all. And I think that having DJ Moore, having Jalen Johnson, those two guys, I expect big things from both of them this season. Not just because of Jalen Johnson's contract, but because we're coming into a season where the defense is drastically improved. You now have cornerbacks out there with you, and overall the secondary out there with you when you look at Eddie Jackson, Jaquan Brisker, Jalen Johnson, Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, depth that we have there as well. Everything points to the Bears having a much better defensive year than what they had last year. Yes, we need to figure out some stuff on the edge, our level of play that we're going to get there, things like that, of course, but Jalen Johnson seems motivated. It seems like he has also taken on that leadership role that he kind of got thrust into as one of the younger veterans, though, on the team. And so it really stands out. And so when you look at it as well as the position groups overall, quarterback, we already know. We talked about Justin Fields. We talked about basically all the wide receivers as well. But at running back position, so far in training camp, seems like everything's pointing to, it looks like Khalil Herbert is the favorite right now to land the running back one position. We've talked about how he could potentially have a breakout season as well. And so he said this when it comes down to it. I mean, yeah, that's my expectation. We've got a great room of guys, and everyone expects to be the number one guy. We compete every day. Everybody's pushing each other to be better. but it seems like Khalil Herbert may have the inside edge on that position, and how he performs in this training camp. Seems like he's been running smooth. He's been catching the ball out the backfield a little bit better. But one of the things that's still sticking out that we've heard is his protection in that pass game needs to be a better pass protector. And it seems like a couple of the times where, players have gotten sacks because they're not actually having contact yet on Justin Fields or gotten pressure on him, it has been coming when Khalil Herbert has been in that pass protection situation. So, we'll see what happens with that if he can shore up that part of his game a little bit more, as well as Dante Foreman. Seems like he's been splitting first-team reps with Khalil Herbert. They've been using him in both the run game and as a pass catcher as well. And then Roschon Johnson has been working primarily with the second team, not really getting any first-team reps. He did have a fumble early in the week as well, but generally, pass protection's really stood out for him, and being an all-around back as well has been good. And we even got some praise from Khalil Herbert on Dante Foreman saying this: that's like coming to work and expecting to lose. You don't even come expecting to lose. In everything I do, I expect to compete. I expect to win. So listen, when it comes to that, they're working. They're doing what they need to do right now to figure out that position. Also seems like Cole Kmet, after coming off his extension, he's having a great training camp so far as well. He's been making plays in practice. They've been highly using him in that passing game. So you expect him to be used highly in that. Became one of Justin Fields' favorite targets towards the end of the season. We expect that to continue as well. And as far as the offensive line, it seems like everybody is talking about the shape that Darnell Wright got in between when he was drafted till now. He's been working with the wide receivers for conditioning instead of the offensive linemen. Let that sink in. We have our offensive lineman, our new tackle, doing his conditioning training with the wide receiver groups. It says that he lost about 16 pounds in that conditioning. He didn't lose any muscle mass in that. He feels quicker, more powerful. Darnell Wright is shaping up to have a big rookie season. It seems like he understands the expectations of what's needed as well. In going in one-on-one drills, he's been going up against Rasheem Green on different occasions. And so, we'll see. Biggest test is absolutely going to be when the pads get put on for him. But it seems like everything's shaping up for a big season for the rookie as well. DeMarcus Walker, he's bringing that edge to the defense as well. Bringing that. Dominique Robinson had this to say about Walker. We needed that last year and didn't have that much. We're all trying to push by. It's going to be different this year. DeMarcus Walker coming in with that mindset and mentality, he's setting the tone for the defensive line. And it's good to see that. Seems like on one-on-one drills as well, Braxton Jones has been going up against Walker. And so it seems like Walker got the best of him on a couple of times. He even threw Braxton Jones to the floor. But Braxton Jones has not been a slouch by any stretch of the imagination either. So all of that defensive line shaking up. Zach Pickens and Javon Dexter have both lived up to their expectations from what we've heard so far. They said that they've been standing out. They've been among the best in that whole defensive line group. So I would not be surprised if the rookies, if they don't start, or if one of them doesn't start, we're seeing a lot of snaps for them, especially in preseason, as they try to figure out where things are already going on. The linebacking core as well, making a big impact. Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards being huge for us right there. Jack Sanborn talking about the instincts that Edwards has as well. So linebacking group shaping up to be big. Edmonds has already gotten a interception return for a touchdown off P.J. Walker. Again, pads aren't on, but those are things to look for as well. And it seems like Terrell Smith, don't overlook him. Seems like he may be pushing for that cornerback 2 position, and it may not be as close as Tyreek Stevenson. I still expect Tyreek Stevenson to come out of it. But Matt Eberflus saying this, he's been really solid. He's learning the position. He's got a lot of speed, and he's got a lot of good long speed as well. He's got size too. He's smart. He knows how and what to do with it. That's a quote. We're going to create competition in those spots, and certainly one of them that we're going to do that with. It's going to see him in there. He did a nice job. So, hey, listen, it may not be as straightforward as what many of us were thinking as far as what's going to happen with that, who's going to start at cornerback 2. So I still expect Tyreek Stevenson to get it. When you just kind of look at everything that's going on, I don't think maybe Terrell Smith does have enough to, if Terrell Smith starts at cornerback 2 instead of Tyreek Stevenson, that just lets you know what type of season we're in line for. And then lastly, before we go, Jaquan Brisker, everybody seems like Jaquan Brisker is just being a huge playmaker so far in training camp. He's lined up. He's been forcing fumbles, interceptions, getting turnovers all so far early on. Also looks like he stuffed Khalil Herbert on the run game as well on a couple of possessions. Jaquan Brisker's ready to put on pads, and I think that he's going to continue to shine in that area as well. Kind of other odds and ends. Velus Jones has been, also seems like he's gotten his stuff in order so far, really doing some things. Him and Tyler Scott have been returning punts. They've both been standing out as well. So we'll see how that shakes out. But overall, what that means is that out of the first week of training camp, all signs are pointing to a solid for a lot of these players. We'll see what it means once the preseason game starts, which is not that far away at all. Can't wait for preseason football. Let me know what you guys think on everything down below. That's it. That's my time for today. Make sure you're following the show at Shy Bear Central. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoBearCentral@gmail.com. And lastly, you can leave a text message and our voicemail for our mailbag episodes. The number to do so, 773-242-9336. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bears related because of you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, Chi-Town up, but bear down. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.